Hi, I'm Dylan with Mastercam, and in this video I'll be showing you the secrets behind how to finish machine this NIMS Challenge DNA part. The National Institute of Machining Standards partnered with Mastercam for a multi-axis machining challenge series held at locations across the United States. This machined DNA Helix is the crown jewel on the trophy that the competition teams must machine over the course of 2 days, and it presents some unique machining problems to competitors. Let's go through the process of creating a toolpath to machine this on a UMC 750. I'll start with a parallel toolpath using a 1/4 inch ball end mill. I'll do a constant Z parallel cut and use these part surfaces and the patch surfaces that cover the slots as the drive geometry. For tool axis control, I'll simplify things and lock the output to 4 axis. Next, I can go into the additional 4th axis options and make sure my 4th axis direction is defined correctly. I'll also lock the 5th axis at a 20-degree angle. This will tilt the tool and keep me from rubbing with the very tip of the ball end mill. It'll also provide me a little additional clearance between the spindle and rotary table in the UMC 750. Now I just need to regenerate the toolpath and take a look at the result in machine simulation. I've got a path that does what I want. It spirals down the helix, but look at the motion in the corners. Because I'm controlling the axis of the tool based on the normals of the helix surfaces, when the tool reaches the sharp corners of the part, it has to wait for the C-axis to rotate 90 degrees at a time before starting back into the cut. I'll need to address that. Now for the secret. Using the clean core method for multi-axis toolpath creation. The idea behind the clean core methodology is to generate your toolpath on a simplified version or clean core of the geometry you want to cut. Then offset your toolpath to the actual surface. This allows you to take the benefits of the smooth tool control generated on the clean core surfaces and carry them through to the finished shape. I've approximated the helix shape with a swept elliptical profile. I'll copy this parallel path down and replace the drive surfaces with my new swept ellipse. Looking at the back plot of this path, I can see how the tool smoothly rotates around the ends of the ellipse. This is some of the motion we want to carry through to the actual DNA helix. Now I'll go back into the toolpath and activate a collision control strategy. I'll check against the flute of the tool and use a retract tool strategy with a long tool axis. For geometry, I'll choose check surfaces and then select all the DNA helix surfaces. What this will do is retract the tool in the spindle Z direction until the flute is no longer in collision with our check surfaces, offsetting the path out to our DNA helix. Let's regenerate this toolpath one more time and see how it looks in machine simulation. Note the changes in the machine motion around the sharp edges of the helix. Because I started with an ellipse, the tool never pauses to transition the rotaries around the ends of the profile. By applying those benefits to the final toolpath on the desired geometry, cycle time has been greatly reduced, and the part will have a better finish.